my ministry part a little short this morning, but in times past, when our friend the Nichols, Roy Nichols, Jane Nichols, and their 5 little Indians first began in the ministry in Ladonia, Texas, and maybe this is to people in the ministry going through things. Maybe this is people thinking about going into the ministry. Maybe even people running from being involved in the ministry and being a blessing, a help unto others. And sometimes people feel like they can't help themselves, much less anyone else. But back in the late 1970s, we went and visited them. We'd go and kind of take a little care package. We'd go from Fort Worth and take my car full of stuff. We'd get the real deal. We'd buy real Dr. Pepper, real Lay's potato chip, real Coca-Cola, and just the extra things, sometimes an ice cream, and share with them. And as we were there, one time we were heading to church. They had a station wagon that they had got from Sister Janie's sister, Amy. I think they'd ran over a cow or something. So the front end was beat up, and then you had to raise the hood and turn the motor a little bit, sometimes because I had a bad spot on the flywheel and the motor would just click, and you had to move that a little bit to make the motor start. We were heading to church there. They lived about 15 miles away, and we were going down the road. If you know Brother Nichols, he wants to be church first. And the hood was flopping up. He had it tied with a piece of coat hanger or something. I knew about older cars and stuff. Probably the car we drove up, probably I'd given $100 or something for it. But we were going along, and I looked over to him, and I says, "Brother, your hood's bouncing. We need to tie it down." He said, "It's wired down." And we were going along, and it was kind of raining just a little bit. It's been raining a lot there. And all of a sudden, the hood just right up in the front of us, and all we could see was hood. And I looked over at him, and he had his head out the window, still giving it the gas. Didn't slow down a bit. I says, "Brother, your hood flew up." And about that time, the hood flew off. And I looked back through the mirror, and it was bouncing down the road into the bar ditch. I said, "Brother, your hood blew off." I said, "You want to stop and get it?" He says, "No, we're late for church. We'll get on the way back." I said, "Okay." So we got down the road to the church, and I looked, and I seen a building he said, "There's the church way off to the side there." And I says, "How are we going to get to it?" Because all around it was water. It was some old cotton fields or some kind of fields, but it was all water. He says, "There's a gravel road right between those fence posts. All I have to do is just stay in that gravel road." And so we made it up to the church, and there's a little high spot. A nice little church. Didn't have running water except what was running down the road, but it had a outhouse, and I think it had a cemetery over to the side. But in all of that, it had refrigerated air conditioner. I thought that was pretty neat. We had church. We went back after a couple hours, and Brother Nichols says, "Oh, man. Oh," and I could tell he was perplexed. He was upset. He said, "I forgot to receive the offering." He was so excited about having extra people, extra family, and there besides his own 7 or something. And I said, "No problem. Just take it up tonight. Take 2 offerings tonight." And he said, "Yeah, but you don't understand." He looked over at me. He says, "They won't be back tonight." I said, "Oh." And so we headed back, and we got down the road, and I said, "Brother, your hood ought to be right here." And he says, "It's raining, and Janie's fixing dinner, and I got to stop by the store. We'll get it later." And to some, you say, "Well, I don't know. That would scare me going into the ministry like that." But as we look back, and I'm sure their kids and Sister Janie looks back, and that was some growing times. That was as what I'm going to be ministering this morning, the road to victory. I thought that I'd just throw that in case you're going through problems, in case you have to open your hood to start your car. God's got a blessing in store. We want to give this morning. If you have a need, if you're out there, you may already be holding on to your device, but as a point of contact. When I was young, when we'd get sick, oftentimes my mom would put the Bible on my head or on my stomach as a point of contact. Say, God's going to help.